Welcome back, everybody, to the Sybk Hockey Show. I'm Joe Sutt, the commissioner, as I'm sitting here in the commissioner's office, going to bring you today a mid-season report, let you know where we stand, how the league is going so far, and also I'm going to give you a recap of last night's game. Also, check us out later on our website, as I'm going to give you some video of goalie interviews. Find out who is the weirdest goalie, as they all are pretty weird. So I'm going to start off the show tonight with a Week 6 recap. Game 1 last night was the Quebec Nordiques versus the Hartford Whalers. The Hartford Whalers were coming into Week 6 with momentum on their side as they scored a late goal in week number 5 to improve their record to 3-2, and were hoping to improve to 4-2 by carrying that momentum over. As for the Quebec Nordiques, they were on a 4-game losing streak, and they were hoping to put an end to that skid. And it looked like they were going to, as we started off the first period, as they controlled much of the first period, as they had about 12 shots on net versus the Whalers had 3 shots on net. And it really didn't matter, though, because at the end of one, the game was tied 1-1 with goals by Mo Mala and Aaron Harari. Then in the second, the tide turned for the Nordiques as the Whalers really controlled the entire game the rest of the way, as they scored 2 in the second and then another 4 in the third, giving them 6 unanswered goals, and they ended up winning the game 7-1. I thought the turning point in this game had to be in the second period when the Whalers, when Quebec was down 2-1 and they were going on a power play. It was Brian who was put in the box for tripping. Honestly, the Nordiques power play looked horrible. They had no momentum, barely a shot on goal. I think the Whalers might have controlled the puck the entire, maybe for a minute and 45 seconds on that power play, so go figure. Their PK was awesome, and it really took the wind out of the sails in the Nordiques. As about a minute after the power play, the Nordiques scored and went up 3-1, and that's when they really took advantage. That goal was a beauty by Mo Daba from a gorgeous pass from Brian. That being said, I'd like to give a shout out to the defense of the Hartford Whalers. Abraham Haber, Michael Shamma, and Brian Cram, really the unsung heroes of that team, as they've only allowed 18 goals the entire season, and they've really looked unbelievable. Hard to score off these guys, and with the offense the way it is, this team's probably going to be the team to beat. Game 2 of this week was probably one of the best ice hockey games, but there was too much extracurricular activities in this game that it might have gotten a little bit out of hand. Just another note, the fighting and all that extracurricular nonsense that goes on in this league really needs to stop. Nobody needs to be doing that garbage, on the ice, in the locker rooms, in the hallways. It's really stupid, and for all those who are there know exactly what went on. Suspensions might be thrown down pending on what we hear back from the rink. That being said, it was the KC versus the Minnesota North Stars in Game 2, and the Scouts, who have been in first place all season long, looked like they belong in first place for those first 2 periods, as they controlled the entire way, the first 2 periods, the first 30 minutes of the game. They were up 4-1 going into the third. They got goals from Jeho, Phil, and I think also David Cabasso, as they took a 4-1 lead, and really they kept the puck in their zone, cycling the puck, making great passes. They really looked unbelievable. But the North Stars always find themselves in a hole, and found a way to get out of the hole again this week. As within the first 30 seconds of the third, Louis Haber was able to put one on and cut the lead to 4-2. And then it was DJ who was able to make it 4-3 with a big goal that ricocheted off of Beta's helmet, and then Aaron Cabasso tied the game up at 4 with about 3 or 4 minutes remaining in the third period. Really, at that point, the North Stars had the Scouts on their heels, and even the North Stars even had a couple of chances to win it in the third. But Stevie Beta made some great saves. Shout out on the Minnesota North Stars to their goalie, Ray T, who they were down 4-1, but Ray made some really big saves to keep it at a 4-1 lead and let the North Stars try and work their way back into the game. Made some big saves, and he kept his team in it, and they fought back in the third. In the OT, it was a couple of chances both ways. Neither team was able to get one, and ended up going into a shootout, the first shootout of the season. And the North Stars got 2 goals by Aaron and DJ as Ray T stopped both, and they improved their record to 3-3. It was really, really great game, back and forth. And if this is a playoff matchup, it's going to be one that nobody's going to want to miss out. So here's my midseason report. I'm going to start from the top with the Kansas City Scouts, who have 9 points, who are 4-1-1. The Scouts, I thought, were not going to be great. I thought they were going to be on the bottom, but shows you how much I know about hockey from the draft. And the most surprising thing is they're doing this all without their starting goalie, Morris Bailey. Who knows where he is? The last time he's been seen has been a while, and nobody knows this guy's MIA. Trying to nurse an injury, quote unquote, that might be better, but we're not so sure. But a shout out also on this team to their 4 offensive leaders in Jeho, Richard Jamal, Jeffrey Towell, and Isaac Cabasso. These guys are spreading the puck, distributing the puck evenly amongst each other, and Jeho actually has, I think it is 15 points on the season, trailing Aaron Harari just by 1. So Jeho might be able to make a little push for the MVP. That would be an interesting story in the next 3 weeks. So, the Scouts have been in first place since week 1, and they're looking really, really good. Second place, we have the Hartford Whalers, who are 4-2 with 8 points. This team, I think, is definitely the team to beat. They look really unbelievable. Whenever you have a team with Aaron Harari on it, you know you're going to be good. But when you have the top defense with Abraham, Michael, and Brian Kareem only giving up 18 goals on the season, you have the number 1 D and one of the top offensive players in the league, you really, really have to be the team to beat. Watch out. This team is going to be very, very dangerous. Boppo's played a couple of solid games for this team also. And Elbaz has been scoring also, so, but there's one thing. There's always that Elbaz curse. So let's see if that comes back to haunt them. But Elbaz also has got 7 goals, 13 points. So, this team I definitely think is the team to beat. In number 3, we have the North Stars, who were 3-3. The North Stars got off to a really slow start this season, starting up 0-2, giving up a ton of goals. But it took them a while to get things rolling. They had a tough loss in week 5. As they gave up a late goal, and they come back win in week 6. They had a couple of weeks where they've, found themselves down, and they've come back. My only problem with the North Stars is if they keep doing this, it's going to be a problem when it comes to playoff time, as leads aren't really squandered in the playoffs. And so they got to find a way to get to a better start. And if that being said, they might, might be able to make a push in that 1-game playoff in the semifinals. And the number 4 seed we have right now is the Nordiques, as they sit at 1-5. I can't believe this team is 1-5. I thought they had the best defense, and apparently they've given up 39 goals, the most in the league. They got to find something going. And the truth is, this team has some offensive prowess, but they don't do anything when they're not all there. And when they're not there, guys, they need everybody to show up. They missed Jober for the past couple of weeks. And it's hard to score. Momala's when you're only relying on Momala, he needs his guys around him. They picked up Svi at the trade deadline. I hope that works out. Maybe they're going to make another trade before Wednesday at 12 o'clock. That's it for the recap show right now. And check out the website for some goalie interviews. We got Week 7 coming up on Sunday. And looks like we're making a good run towards the playoffs. See you all on the ice on Sunday.